Hello, OG family. Dave Collins coming from Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island, from my home to yours. And this is a CJM video training. So I'm excited to share some information with you about one of the most very important parts of building our OG business. And what I want to share with you is this. We have 4 steps to success in this business. And the third step is booking 4 coffee jazz mixers. It's right in the mix of what's necessary for success. So if you're not involved in CJMs, there's a really important part of this business that's missing, and I'm going to suggest to you that your business is going to struggle. It likely won't grow, and you're not going to get the results that you're expecting. So what I want to do over the next few minutes is break down the simplicity of what a CJM is and how to get the most out of it. So what I've done is I've actually prepared a little bit of information for you on a slide. So let's do a screen share, and hopefully you can see that. So let's break down what a CJM is. Okay, CJM stands for Coffee Jazz Mixer. The reality is, everybody, that it's a coffee tasting. Okay, so internally, your business partners and inside of the company, when we talk about the CJMs, that's the language we use. But the reality is you're pretty much going to refer to it as a coffee tasting. People are not going to understand the CJM. That's for us to talk about ourselves. But the people you want to share the product and opportunity with, for the most part, you'll call it a coffee tasting. Okay, so if you could look to the screen up on your left-hand side here, what I would like you to notice is that there are 4 steps to success. And the first one is be a product of the product, build a list, book 4 coffee jazz mixers and plug into a proven system. As I mentioned, number 3 is part of the success of building this business. And if you're not doing coffee tastings, if you're not doing enough coffee tastings, if you're not teaching people who that you bring into this business, then things are really going to struggle for you. Okay, so I want to identify, first of all, the importance of a coffee jazz mixer, of a coffee tasting as part of the 4 steps. I also want to identify here for you what exactly it is, a coffee tasting. Now let's break it down in its most simplest form. Number 1, a coffee tasting involves pouring hot water. So I want to break this down a little bit and just kind of help you understand what that really means. Okay, so pouring hot water means that, first of all, you've invited a person or persons to come and do a coffee tasting. Their opinion is very important to you. And so you're going to have a product setup. That's important, so that they can have a look at, your product offerings and the different varieties, all the flavors that they have to choose from. The second thing you'll notice there is that it recommends a social atmosphere. What does a social atmosphere mean? It means a few important things, really. Number 1, it means that maybe you've got some music in the background, which will create a relaxing, inviting atmosphere. I hope that there's not a lot of clutter in the space that you're using, because that's stressful. It looks disorganized. And then other distractions, maybe phones ringing, cell phones going off, maybe your distraction, if you're checking your text messages or if you're attending to other things that are household related, that doesn't really create an atmosphere of success. So give that some thought as well too. The next thing is that you're going to serve coffee and tea. So a good host, very quickly, is going to make sure that they find out what people prefer to drink. Would you like a coffee? Would you like a tea? How do you take your coffee? Our 4 questions really fall into play. Do you or anyone that you know drink coffee or tea at least occasionally? Do you drink coffee? How do you take your coffee? Cream, sugar? Would you like a latte? Would you make like a mocha? Do you drink specialty coffees? We have a variety of teas. Providing people the variety of our flavors is really important. Of course, you want to make sure that you've got milk and sugar for people who just want to have black coffee and add, their own, product into the coffee to taste. You want to have stir sticks. You want to make sure that you've got a way to boil the hot water. Maybe you've got a hot water, machine on a cooler. Maybe you've got a kettle. Maybe you've got a Keurig that you can just get fast hot water from. These are part of the elements of being organized. And then the other thing is you want to be able to interact with people. You want to be able to tell your story. This is not a long, drawn-out conversation. This is about what you're doing now in your life, what OG, appealed to you, what you're looking for, why OG for you. What is it about your current circumstances that just weren't cutting it? Maybe you weren't making enough money, maybe you didn't have enough time. These are things that people relate to, okay? So this is what I'm talking about when we refer to pouring hot water. Now, the second thing is press play in a video. You know, this is super, super simple. I've put down the website here for you, www.ewingteam.com, and there's 2 videos that you're going to share. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this screen here for a second, and I'm actually going to go right to Ewing Team. There it is. Okay, so we've got this amazing website for you to use where just about everything that you need is there, including our videos, including information about our product and our business opportunity. And on the home page, the very first video, 9 minutes long, it's called Ground to the Cup. Now here's what I want to tell you about Ground to the Cup. And you can share this with people. You know, you've served coffee, you've told your story, you've created the atmosphere for success. Say, listen, I just want to share with you what our product is and what our company is. And the best way for me to do that is to show you a video. So here you go. You know, and just before you hit play, this video does this. It shows where our company started. So it shows where our company started, it shows where we are now, but more importantly, it shows where we're going. So I just want to share this video with you because it'll explain everything that you need to know. That's it. You know, that's our 9-minute video. Now, you know, you can introduce the next video called Diamond Story. Here's what I say about Diamond Story. Our Diamond Story grounds the opportunity. All right, so Ground to the Cup is exciting and it's elaborate and it talks about a great deal of success and you know, goals for global growth. What this does is it brings it down to what people can get their minds around. They can get their heads wrapped around average people from a small town who created incredible success by being part of an amazing company, an amazing product, and following an incredible system. You know, so you've got a family from a small town that tells their story about how they went to the #1 lifestyle in the world. So important to share that video. So between those 2 videos, you don't have a whole lot to share. You know, less than 14 minutes, you've got basically everything covered. So that's what I wanted to show you about Ewing Team and the power of those 2 videos. That's step number 2. Now, what you need to do after the videos is you need to identify in the group who are going to be customers and who are going to be income earners, people who are going to be distributors like you and like me. So you'll notice here that I've got in bright red, identify. Number 1, customers. Now, you want to identify customers because they're the people that are going to support your business. They're going to buy coffee from you. They're the ones that you have shown value in what it is that you have to offer, and in turn, they're going to support your business because you've asked them to. And they're going to support your business because you've said, you know, I'd love for you to take our coffee challenge. Drink our coffee for at least 30 days and enjoy the way that it tastes, but also enjoy the way that it makes you feel. They've already heard a little bit about how powerful our coffee is in the video, Ground to the Cup. So there's not a whole lot more that you need to explain about the value of the coffee, except for they need to experience it. The only way to experience is to drink it and to commit to it for a little bit of time. That's why we call it a coffee challenge. So these are going to be people that are your customers. Number 2, you're going to look at the audience and you're going to talk to the people that are there. Maybe it's a one-on-one, maybe there's 5 to 8 people there, and you're going to say, you know, from a 1 to 10, what is your interest level in partnering with this company and with me and creating an extra income for your family? You know, they're going to tell you a 1, they're going to tell you a 10, and whatever the number is, as long as it's more than 0, you know, just say, you know, that's great. You know, what do I have to do? What would you need in order to get your number up closer to 10? And you know, this brings in number 3. You know, the third aspect of the coffee tasting, and that's the 3-way call. Now, we call it a 3-way call because in a lot of cases, it's easiest to access somebody by actually getting them on the phone. It's possible that in your local market, you may have a sponsor or a leader that can actually accompany you in person to basically share their story and answer questions about what this amazing company and opportunity is for them. But, you know, in either case, whether it's bringing somebody on a Google Hangout or a Skype or 3-way call or in person, you need to have that extra support. Here's why. You're new in the business. You haven't had a whole lot of success yourself compared to some leaders, and you may not have a lot of experience. More importantly, above all those reasons, you need to share the vision of the person that you've introduced by 3-way call. You need to share their vision for somebody else, because the individuals that are at your coffee tasting, they can only see where you are right now. That only makes sense. They need to be able to see for themselves where they could go. Their story is very, very important. So I've made a couple of notes here that hopefully you'll find important. Number one, you want to introduce the person that you've brought into this equation as your friend and partner. You want to edify them. You want to say some nice things about them. You want to talk about how they love to have fun and how they're doing incredible in this business and how they're an amazing support to the growth of your business. And the other thing that you want to do is after you've edified them, you want to stay quiet, zip it up. The worst thing you could do is interrupt and start talking about yourself or talking about what you think is important. Let the interaction happen between your guest or your guests and the person who you've brought in to be the expert, the person that you brought in to tell their story. And the introduction of that doesn't have to be complicated. You don't have to ask permission for your audience to, can I call somebody? Do you mind if I call somebody? That is the worst thing you could do. When you've got your guests there, when you're having coffee with somebody, or if you have a few people there, and just say, listen, it's really important that I share with you my friend's story, and have them on speed dial. Let them know in advance that you may need to be calling them. If you're doing a Google Hangout or a Skype, have them already set up so you can just hit a button and let them be there. Just say, listen, it's really important that you meet my friend and business partner. They've been really supportive in helping me, and they've got an incredible story. I want to introduce to you this individual. Tell them their name, where they're from, edify them a little bit, and just make it a simple, smooth transition. It's a skill to do that, and so the more you do it, the better you'll get. So we've got pour hot water, we've broken that down, press play in a video, the importance of identify customers or income earners, and then we've broken down the three-way call. Now I've made a couple of notes here. Now the notes are important. You've heard the principle of KISS, keep it simple. So don't prepare a big spread. Okay, that's not necessary. If you have a few cookies or crackers, that's all that you need. This is about simplicity. It's a coffee tasting. It's about the product. You don't need to make sandwiches, and you don't have to, offer a buffet. Keep it simple. That's really important, because you will send a message about how this business is built to people who are evaluating it based on you opening the opportunity up to them. And if they see things that are complicated and a lot of work, they're not going to want to do that. Okay. The other thing that I want to share with you is that if you want to have 5 to 8 people, that's kind of a magic number. If you want to have 5 to 8 people at your coffee tasting, here's what you need to do. You need to invite 20 to 30 people. It's just the numbers. It's just the way that it is. And the other suggestion is you need to get on the phone and invite them. Now you can connect to them with a text message or a Facebook message. That's fine. But it's only to say, what's your number? What's the best time to reach you? I want to give you a quick call. Right? And so you get on the phone and just say, you know what, I've just started an incredible, exciting gourmet coffee business. I'm a coffee provider. I'm having a coffee tasting. It's really important that I get your opinion about, how you like the taste of the coffee. And there's something very special about it. I'd love to know how it makes you feel. You've got to get that invitation out to people. And the best way to do that is on the phone. They'll hear your excitement. They're going to commit to coming. And the other thing you can tell them in the invitation is, are you sure you can be there? I only have room for a few people, so if you can't be there, I really appreciate it if you let me know. Give me plenty of notice, but can you confirm that you'll be there for sure? So getting on the phone, as I've mentioned down here, is super important. And I've also made a one-to-one note here, and what that means is that coffee jazz mixers don't have to be 5 and 10 and 15 people. You can just go sit down with somebody and have coffee one-on-one with them and go through this same process. So here's the suggestion in relation to the one-on-ones. Select the top 2 or 3 people in your world that you would love to have join you in this business. Call them up and arrange a coffee appointment. Arrange just to go have coffee with them. They come to your house, you go to their house, whatever, meet somewhere in the middle, Starbucks, and this is what you want to do. You want to have coffee with them, make sure that you provide them the coffee. You want to be able to show them a video. And you want to get somebody on a call so that they can tell their story and answer some questions about how this could be a fit for them. So I hope this video has been helpful for you and kind of broken down the simplicity of what a coffee tasting is, what the purpose of this is. Now I want to talk a little bit about launching your business, and you'll notice here in the 4 steps to success that it suggests 4 coffee jazz mixers, 4 coffee tastings. Here's the importance of that. In a week, in a 2-week period, in a 3-week period, in a month, the longer you make it, the less of a launch it is, the more of a startup it is. If you want to really launch your business, book 4. Put them into your calendar. If you can do them in your first week, congratulations, you are serious and you've made a way to make it happen. If you do one coffee jazz mixer a week and that's what you can do, then that's fine. You do that. But the importance is to book it. You know, it doesn't say invite for it. It doesn't say build for it. It just says book it. All right, that's important. So this is where your calendar comes into play. You know, your monthly achiever. And you know, in the month of October, for example, it's important that you write down in your book, you circle that you've committed to doing a coffee tasting on a certain day and time. Now that that's booked in your calendar, it's up here. When it's up here, you will actually be aware of building for it. And you'll be able to contact people and you'll be able to interact with people that you didn't even expect to interact with. You know, somebody that you met at a social gathering, somebody that you saw at the grocery store. Hey, what's new? You will never believe what's new, you know, and tell them and ask them to come to your tasting. It's all because you booked it. So that's the power of booking that. So again, from my home to yours, I hope this coffee tasting, this CJM video training was helpful for you. Go out there, book your coffee jazz mixers, teach people to do CJMs. And again, this is a really, really important part of building your business. So have a great night and we'll be talking to you all soon.